Have you ever wondered how the world would be if World War II hadn't happened? Picture this. It's the late 1930s and the world is teetering on the edge of a precipice. Tensions are simmering, alliances are being forged, and ideologies are clashing. Major global players are emerging, each led by leaders with distinct and often conflicting visions. Across the Atlantic, Franklin D. Roosevelt is steering the United States through the Great Depression. In Europe, Adolf Hitler's Nazi regime is gaining ground in Germany, while Benito Mussolini is cementing his fascist rule in Italy. Further east, Joseph Stalin is molding the Soviet Union into a formidable powerhouse. In the backdrop, the Treaty of Versailles, the peace pact that ended the First World War, is a festering wound. It's a constant reminder of the resentment and dissatisfaction brewing among nations. Meanwhile, the rise of totalitarian regimes is altering the political landscape, creating a powder keg waiting to explode. As the world braced for change, it was unaware of the magnitude of the storm that was about to hit. The world held its breath as Germany invaded Poland in September 1939. With this audacious move, Germany tore up the peace treaties of the post-World War I era, plunging the globe once again into the throes of conflict. Under the command of Adolf Hitler, the German forces moved swiftly, using a military strategy known as blitzkrieg, or lightning war, to overwhelm the Polish defenses. Poland, caught off guard and ill-prepared, fell in less than a month. The world watched in shock, but it was Britain and France that took decisive action. They had promised to protect Poland's sovereignty, and they stood by their word. On September 3rd, just 2 days after the German invasion, both nations declared war on Germany. And so the stage was set. Yet the first act of this global drama held another twist. The Soviet Union, under the rule of Joseph Stalin, also invaded Poland later that month, from the east. This was part of a secret agreement, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, between the Soviet Union and Germany. This pact not only divided Poland between the two powers, but also set the stage for further territorial expansions. In the months that followed, Germany continued its aggressive campaign, invading Denmark and Norway in April of 1940. Then, in May, they launched their attack on the Netherlands, Belgium, and France. The speed and ferocity of these invasions sent shockwaves around the world. Meanwhile, in the Pacific, another member of the Axis powers, Japan, was also on the move. They had already been at war with China since 1937, and their expansionist ambitions were growing. The world was now embroiled in a global conflict, a conflict that was to span 6 brutal years, reaching into every corner of the globe. The early battles and invasions were just the beginning of the most extensive and devastating war in history. The stage was set for a war that would change the course of history. In December 1941, the war took a dramatic turn. This statement underscores the seismic shift that occurred when the United States, previously maintaining a stance of neutrality, was thrust into the global conflict. The catalyst? The surprise attack on Pearl Harbor by Japan. This unprovoked assault on American soil led to the U.S. Congress declaring war on Japan the very next day. Germany and Italy, allies of Japan, declared war on the U.S. shortly after, effectively expanding the theater of war. With the entry of the United States, the world witnessed a surge in resources and manpower on the side of the Allies, a shift that would prove crucial. Fast forward to 1942, the Battle of Midway, a significant turning point in the Pacific War, as the Allied forces managed to halt the Japanese advance. This battle, fought entirely with aircraft, was a testament to the evolving nature of warfare and the critical role of technological innovation. Meanwhile, on the harsh, frozen Eastern Front, another decisive battle was unfolding. The Battle of Stalingrad, one of the deadliest battles in history, marked a significant defeat for the Axis powers. The Soviet Union's successful defense of the city resulted in heavy losses for Germany, both in terms of manpower and morale. And then, there was the pivotal D-Day invasion in 1944. The largest amphibious assault in history, it marked the beginning of the end for the Axis powers. With the successful establishment of a Western front in Normandy, France, the Allies were now closing in on Germany from both sides. But these turning points in the war did not come easily. Each victory was hard-fought, each loss deeply felt. The cost of shifting the tides of war was measured in countless lives lost, cities reduced to rubble, and a world forever scarred by the horrors of war. The tide of war was turning, but not without a heavy price. While battles raged on, an unimaginable horror unfolded. In the shadows of the war, a monstrous act of inhumanity was taking place. This was the Holocaust, a systematic, state-sponsored genocide perpetrated by Nazi Germany and its collaborators. 6 million Jews, representing 2/3 of the Jewish population in Europe, were methodically exterminated. But the Holocaust was not the only instance of mass murder during this time. The Nazis also targeted other groups, including Poles, Roma, and people with disabilities, amplifying the scale of these atrocities. Imagine entire communities, entire cultures wiped off the face of the earth. The magnitude of these acts is so staggering that it defies comprehension. Yet it's essential to confront these grim realities, to remember the victims, and to ensure that such horrors are never repeated. These atrocities were not confined to Europe. In Asia, the Imperial Japanese Army was responsible for numerous war crimes, including the infamous Nanking Massacre, where hundreds of thousands of Chinese civilians and disarmed soldiers were brutally murdered and tens of thousands of women were raped. These are but a fraction of the atrocities committed during World War II. Each had its own unique, chilling narrative, a testament to the depth of human cruelty. These were acts that stripped away the veneer of civilization, revealing a darkness within humanity that many would prefer to ignore. But we cannot ignore it. We must recognize it, learn from it, and strive to prevent it from happening again. Because in the end, it is not just about remembering the past. It's about shaping a future where such acts are unthinkable. The repercussions of these atrocities were felt long after the war ended. They reshaped the world's moral compass, prompting the establishment of international laws against genocide and crimes against humanity. They underscored the need for global cooperation to protect human rights and prevent such horrors from recurring. The true depth of humanity's darkness was revealed. But so too was our capacity for resilience, for justice, and for hope. In the face of unimaginable horror, the world vowed never again. In 1945, after 6 long and bloody years, World War II ended. The world had been holding its breath, and finally the air seemed to shift. The Axis powers crumbled under the relentless pressure of the Allied forces. Germany, the central pillar of the Axis, surrendered in May, and Japan followed suit in September. The relief, however, was laced with the bitter taste of loss. The war had been a maelstrom of destruction, swallowing up lands and lives with an indiscriminate hunger. The casualty count was staggering, with an estimated 50 to 85 million people dead, a significant portion of the global population at the time. Cities across Europe and Asia lay in ruins, their once vibrant streets now a haunting testament to the horrors of war. Beyond the physical devastation, the war left deep psychological scars on the survivors. Families were torn apart, communities shattered, and countless individuals were left to grapple with the trauma of what they had witnessed and endured. The world had changed irrevocably, and the people in it had to find a way to navigate this new reality. In the wake of this cataclysmic event, the world leaders decided that such a conflict must never happen again. This collective commitment led to the establishment of the United Nations in 1945, an international organization aimed at fostering global peace and cooperation. But even as the world sought to heal and rebuild, new tensions were brewing. The ideological divide between the capitalist West and the communist East, primarily the United States and the Soviet Union, set the stage for a new kind of conflict, the Cold War. This struggle for global dominance, lasting for almost half a century, was largely fought not on battlefields but in the realms of politics, economics, and culture. World War II left an indelible mark on the world, a mark that still echoes through history. The lessons we've learned from this period continue to shape our understanding of conflict, humanity, and the delicate balance of global power. It stands as a stark reminder of the depths to which humanity can sink, but also the heights of courage, resilience, and unity we can reach in the face of adversity. World War II was a testament to the resilience and determination of humanity. It was a time that displayed the strength of human spirit in the face of unprecedented adversity. From the ashes of this devastating conflict, we've learned invaluable lessons about the price of peace and the cost of war. It's crucial that we remember these lessons, for they serve as a stark reminder of the depths to which humanity can sink, but also the heights to which we can rise. The echoes of valor that resonated from the World War II era continue to reverberate today, inspiring us to strive for a world free from the scourge of war. Understanding this period of history is not just about revisiting the past. It's about recognizing the sacrifices made by millions, acknowledging the horrors they endured, and ensuring that such atrocities are never repeated. As we remember World War II, we understand the cost of freedom and the value of peace.